Okay, this is about some additional teaching spaces and two student residents embedded into a school campus located in Clunes. So in 2000, Wesley set up a remote Year 9 campus in Clunes, and now there's a really strong symbiotic relationship between the campus, the students and the township. Clunes was chosen, I think, because of its proximity to Melbourne, to Ballarat, and easy to get to, and its rich colonial history and particularly goldfields history, substantial buildings, and it also has an underlying culture up there of book fairs and auctions and cultural performances and so on. The campus you can see dotted in this location. Is there a pointer? No, okay. So you can see there's the town hall on the right-hand side of Bailey Street there. That's the substantial building I showed you before. There's a small sort of English cricket green, and there's a series of substantial buildings which are remnants from the Uniting Church, and then there's these buildings that were actually done by Darryl Jackson at the turn of the century, and what we're providing now is additional special purpose teaching spaces and expanding the student housing model. You can see the quality of the site. It actually has this beautiful slightly overgrown, not a lot of natural landscape in here in terms of indigenous landscape, but remnant buildings, schoolhouses and things like that, and bluestone manse and that sort of stuff, absolutely appealing in that sort of central Victorian way. And this is just a couple of shots of some of the students doing the activities. Clearly there's student-focused things, and then there's other things which are really about blending in with the town, helping the butcher, working in the supermarket, doing their shopping for their own cooking and catering and so on. So it's very strong connection with the town. What we talking about is at the top of the hill. The slope of the hill is down towards Service Street and to the north to Hannah Street. This is a tumble down, almost derelict. They were using it for sleeping, for putting seats and trestle tables and things like that in number 10 Hannah Street, and that was an important building. A very early conceptual drawing is to say that let's hang on to 10 Hannah Street. That was really important for the Hepburn Shire. What we actually did was then generate a sort of an all-encompassing roof for the special teaching spaces, providing lots of gathering space, universal access, and it's sort of a heart space in the school that all the other spaces that exist on the rest of the campus are actually very sloping, and it's very difficult to accommodate and use them. It's a little bit like being on a ski lodge site, and then there's these two student residents in this location. The architectural cues for those two buildings are the work that Darryl did quite some time ago, and it was important for us and for the school to have some sort of dialogue and a sort of consistent amenity for the students that use the new housing blocks compared to those that draw the straw for the old housing blocks. You can see here the top of the hill is an existing building, also on Hannah Street. That's the front of Hannah Street. There's a store back in this location. The special purpose teaching spaces in here around the central courtyard, and the two student residences on the eastern edge. A more detailed plan showing you how we set up the spaces, I guess, between around the central open space. There's no spot on the site now in the top of the site where you can't actually get a wheelchair or a trolley through the space. That was very important. That wasn't actually provided on the site previously. There's a house here that's actually on the same circulation route, so they can actually accommodate a student or two disabled students. It's equipped with disabled bathrooms and so on, and very easy to get to. So we've actually got Two special learning by doing spaces in here. This is a sort of combined social presentation space. The equipment in these working spaces is tucked away behind some roller shutter doors, and underneath this central divisible space are some toilet amenities using the transition of levels through here. Once again, back to number 10 Hannah Street. This is roughly the first room and a half depth of Hannah Street, which generates the new teaching kitchen. The teaching kitchen is important because it's also an extension, an overlap with the school. So there's cooking lessons, there's various functions that happen with the township that use this facility. Part of our original brief was to actually investigate whether the school should actually purchase some other buildings that came up within the township, and we said no, we didn't think that was the right thing to do. There's a real danger of you becoming the town rather than actually supporting the town, and they accepted that, and that's really the genesis of this project. The number 10 Hannah Street set the sort of pattern for this main roof behind this, and the heritage authorities and heritage advisors were very pleased that this actually determined the architectural sort of patterning, I suppose, for the school. And you can see here the two residences picking up on a very sort of familiar theme with the other houses: shared rooms, two students, and a combined kitchen, living, dining space. Sustainability was quite important on this site, and you can see the large roof gave us an opportunity to do some very good water harvesting. So the two blue tanks on this side, you can see with the dotted lines, are actually all connected back through to store this water, and then there's a very large solar array on the roof that provides substantial power to the campus. It doesn't power the whole of the campus, of course, because there's a lot there that existed previously, but this actually works very strongly with the new work. The section, you can see once again how it steps down the hill. This is this singular lighting roof. This is the idea of the east-west connections from the boundary through to the storage area. So you can come through here, wheel your bike through, and there's a little incidental tiered seating in one of those, tiered seating performance space in one of those, or gathering spaces, and then you can get to all these levels in the courtyard. And you can see here the number 10 Hannah Street was really the, I guess, the starting point for the training kitchen. That's the cross section, northern light coming back into these spaces, the east-west links through there. Latent conditions on this site were absolutely horrific. You can see the back of number 10 Hannah Street here. You can see the boulders, you can see the conditions. It was coping with COVID, it was coping with all this stuff that no one knew was there, and also a bit of contamination from mining. Geotech didn't show up any of that. We were able to negotiate with a local farmer who wanted some rocks, and we gave him plenty, lots of truckloads. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me just run through these quickly. I thought I was doing it in the right time. Okay, so there's the central space, there's the engaging roof, the all-encompassing roof. The aesthetic of the building is sort of natural materials, responsive, warmth, and as you can see here, the height of the transition in height through the site, through to the west, is really significant. And these are just some of the qualities of the learning spaces, and that's the end of the site beside Hannah Street. So it's